Previously on Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, I can't wait to see what happens with Riley. Really? Fear the Walking Dead has crossed over with Morgan, with Dwight, with Sherry, and now they've crossed over with HBO, for God's sake. They have killed a darn baby on Fear the Walking Dead. I don't know where she get them, but apparently her and Carol have some wig stores that they go to, because man, they have the same darn hair. So let me get this straight. John Dory is killed by Dakota.
That's not what I want.
John Dory is here again. And Dakota's still alive.
I mean, it's a good thing, right?
Oh, that karma, though.
Hey guys, it's Dan, your host, your TWD Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for Fear the Walking Dead. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. This is going to be for episode 13, which is called JD.
Why are you here?
Okay guys, this is going to be doing a video for today. This one's going to be doing another video for Fear the Walking Dead. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. This is going to be for episode 13, which is called JD. So, really awesome episode this week, man. Honestly, after leaving off last week with a very just kind of depressing, not wanting to watch it probably ever again episode of Fear the Walking Dead, we get this week's episode. And, wow. Honestly, that's all I can say. Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 has been killing it as usual. I feel like every week it's just always up their game. But this week, I mean, hell, did they ever? I mean, honestly, this was amazing. So, let's talk about this episode. We're going to talk about it from beginning to end. We're going to discuss it, and we'll give our general thoughts. So, this week's episode is focused on June, obviously. As we see her at the dam at the beginning of the episode talking with Morgan, obviously Morgan is very upset after what happened to the baby, and he's kind of taking his anger out on June. So it makes sense, definitely, but you can definitely feel bad for Morgan in this instance. Now, basically, we got the intro as, you know, June kind of leaves and she kind of goes off. We see her outside of the oil fields, which I thought was pretty cool. You know, honestly, getting to see the oil fields again is kind of sad for some reason now, because that's like one of the last places that her and John were at, and that's like before when she talks to Dwight here, she even says, like, you know, I should have left with John. Like, you know, he was discussing it literally right here that maybe we should leave and all that kind of stuff. So that was definitely really sad as well, too. And basically, you've got Dwight that shows up, kind of keeping an eye on June, because he feels like, you know, after Humbug's Gulch, episode 3, that really he owes June and John, you know, well, now just June, but, you know, he owes June his life, basically. And that's the kind of way that, you know, Dwight is looking at it. And basically, Sherry, I guess, follows Dwight for some unknown reason, and Dwight doesn't even know why either. So, all right, now, basically, they start getting shot at, obviously. We got this kind of battle that comes through. We got the walkers that come in, some pretty cool actions and stuff like that. They get shot at, of course, and then you've got the, you know, the RV, and we get the introduction to the, obviously, the big character in this one, who is John Dory's father, also named the original John Dory. So, wow, that is just so freaking cool. And honestly, seeing this guy, wow, I just got chills when I saw this guy. So they introduced John Dory's father, which is obviously the big storyline of this week's episode. And I just, honestly, guys, I remember when I saw this, I was just like, wow. And honestly, if it wasn't for frickin' AMC spoiling that a few days ago that this was already confirmed that it was John Dory's father, it would have been more of a surprise. But either way, the way they did it was fan-frickin-tastic. I love it. And let's talk about the backstory we've got here that I really want to delve into a little bit. So, the End is the Beginning group, well, Teddy obviously used to be a major, like, criminal back in, like, the 70s. So, and he's been going by this saying since the 1970s. And Teddy is actually someone that this John Dory, actually locked up a long time ago. And when the world fell apart, we get the story that basically the cell door was open, he was out, and he's, you know, out now, and he's free. But we find out in this one, and this is the most intriguing part for me, that apparently the End is the Beginning group and the philosophy of the End is the Beginning group is from Teddy, and it's been around since the 1970s. that just blew me away. I didn't even know what to think at that moment, and I'm going to kind of reiterate here because I've always had this theory that Teddy is potentially just part of it. He's not even the big leader. No, I'm sorry. This episode, the one thing it did is confirm, yes, this guy is the leader. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This guy is the leader of the End is the Beginning group. I will be actually very shocked now if they switch that, because that is his philosophy going back since the 1970s. That is just, it's mind-blowing to me. I didn't even expect to see that. Obviously, it's John Dory's father, so he's pretty tough. But the fact he's been dealing with this guy for this long, and now he's still looking for Teddy, and they're like old men now, like just, wow. Honestly, that storyline, it is intriguing as hell. I'll say that. It is so damn intriguing. I love it. So that right there, fantastic. I love that idea for a storyline. Now, basically, we get to see, obviously, once, he's like June Drive and stuff like that, and he keeps calling her sweetheart, and after a bit, she's like, yeah, I've had enough of this. And of course, she starts, messing around with the RV. He falls, and then, of course, she points the gun towards him, and then, where'd you get that gun? Where, and then all the questions kind of come in. And then it's the realization that it's like, oh, frig, like that's him, John Dory. And oh my God, man, honestly, I remember when I saw that, it was literally in a trailer, but I still, dude, I just get chills when I see that. So obviously, in this episode, we get to see that bond between June and this older John Dory. Then it starts, the pieces of the puzzle finally kind of connect. And then they kind of tell stories about John and stuff like that. And I love it. I just think it's so cool, honestly. And then, they kind of understand that, okay, the two of them meeting is more important than they both originally thought, at first. So I like that. Obviously, the RV gets caught with like some walkers and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool. Man, honestly, if it's not Dale driving a damn RV, no one can drive the freaking thing. So I always find that funny. Like every time there's an RV in The Walking Dead past the Dale storyline, it's like something happens to it. It either gets blown up at the sanctuary or walkers get trapped in it. Like it's like if Dale can't drive it, nobody can, I don't know why. That thought's just always in my head, because it's like, man, every time there's a new RV, something happens to it, if Dale's not the one that's driving the freaking thing. So I love that. But then let's also talk about the fact that, he obviously goes back to the cabin. We've got, a lot of nostalgia here. We've got kind of them. They're going to, the store and stuff like that, the bridge and some of these other locations. And basically, in the meantime, let's cut over to the other part. Sherry's horse dies, which is like, okay, she shoots that. And we get a mention of Negan. Now, obviously, Negan mentions are always fun. I always love these. And basically, she wants to go back to Virginia and put a bullet in his head. Now, not the best plan, but I get it. Just, we know it's not going to happen because of all the time that The Walking Dead has passed in Fear the Walking Dead, where Fear the Walking Dead is at. It just wouldn't make sense to catch up with that timeline. Sherry would be much older by the time she would actually finally get there and kill Negan. And full well Sherry's not going to kill Negan. So even though I knew that she wasn't going to do it, it's very interesting. And it's always great when they bring up Negan. Just the way they talk about him like he's some kind of god or something. That's the vibe I get. Because I'm just like, it's like Negan. Like, yeah, just the word Negan. Like, it's like, whoa, you're talking about a Walking Dead legend right there, I don't know why. I just always get that vibe when they mention Negan. So it's really cool. But I love the Negan mention. I always love seeing that. And Sherry in this episode, listen, I am not a Sherry fan. I'm not a Sherry fan at all. But I'm going to say this right now. I dealt with her in this episode. She wasn't bad. She wasn't too bad. I liked the moment she had with Dwight. They even talk about, like, back when they were first dating, they would sit on the truck and, like, drink beers until they pass out. Like, I like some of that stuff. It's actually bringing in their relationship, because if Sherry was normal, I would actually think this is a great relationship in this show. But because Sherry has to be this way, the relationship is pretty crappy. Because if Sherry was just normal and wanting to be with her husband, wanting to be with Dwight, and they talk about old times like this and stuff like that, I would actually dig the relationship between Sherry and Dwight. But it's Sherry that drags it down, because Dwight's not doing anything wrong. But the Sherry character, as much as I love that they're going the comic route with her, I have a feeling that even though she has a change of heart in this one and they want to give the relationship another chance, which is another thing, obviously, that we get to see in this episode, that basically, they notice that, times are short, they should give the relationship another try, because obviously June and John didn't, they weren't able to have, a long relationship. They don't want that to, happen to them. So I get it, but it's just like this moment where it's like, I don't know. I feel like because Sherry now has a bit of a change of heart in this episode, I feel like they're really about to go the tragic side with this one, and it's like, you think she's going to go evil, you think she's going to be like in the comic version or something where she just doesn't care, then she's going to start warming up to the idea of a relationship with Dwight, and then something's going to happen to her. That's, in my opinion, what they're going to do. Just because I feel like they're trying to add on that extra layer of tragedy, bro. Like, honestly, that you can guarantee that's what they're doing. So, we'll have to see. That's just kind of my thought about it right now. Yeah, I don't know. Something tragic's going to happen to Sherry, and they're setting that up. You can't sit there and tell me they're not. But again, we'll have to see where this storyline goes, but all I'm saying for this week's episode with the Dwight and Sherry stuff, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. And I think Sherry is actually a character I could deal with in this episode. I liked it. So basically, then we got, of course, the movie place. I love when they mention how John loves his movies and stuff like that. And of course, he locks June in, which this part I remember I was a little frustrated by. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. But then obviously we got the cabin, we got all that stuff, and then we get Hill. So let's talk about Hill. Now, the last kind of piece of the Pioneer storyline, if you will. And, man, honestly, this fight, man. So, he didn't last long, that's for sure. I mean, he gets killed, but, obviously John Dory, gets shot in the process. He gets shot, they have to get him in. And basically Hill, is, basically dead pretty much immediately. And seeing Hill again, I was fine with as long as they killed him, which they did. So obviously that's good, because obviously the Pioneer storyline, I feel like we just need to get past that now. Bad enough we still have Dakota among us, but honestly, I want them to kind of get rid of that storyline now. Yes, the Pioneer storyline turned out really good, but, it'd be good if they kind of got rid of that, So, really great fight scene there, really great dialogue there, and now I want to talk about the moment that just, man, it got me in the darn feels, man, is when you get the letter from June, and she talks about, he talks about in his letter, helping someone, doing that whole kind of thing. The fact that he forgives his dad, too, and when he talks about that, and you see the look on his face, and you just got that really sad scene when he talks to June, the best, woman I ever met, and all that kind of stuff, and man, I don't know, the way Jenna Elfman performed that in that scene, it just did something for me, man. It really hit home, and honestly, I've watched that scene about 3-4 times now, just because I don't know, man, it just does something for me. So, one of the best scenes in this episode, if not the best, for me personally. I love that scene. It's just absolutely just so emotional. So, we've talked about the Dwight and Sherry stuff. We'll move on from that. They're going to give their relationship a shot. And then basically we've got, the new John Dory, who meets Morgan, which I thought was really cool. So, love that, as they got work to do and stuff like that, and that is basically that. So, this episode, man, honestly, you guys are gonna really be surprised on my rating for this one. Listen, when an episode doesn't have any flaws, which, in my opinion, it doesn't, when an episode doesn't have flaws, when it has good character development, like this one, when it has a great new character, great actors, great acting, great all that stuff, I don't care if this episode doesn't have that much action. If there's nothing wrong with an episode, I'm going to give it what it deserves, and I'm going to give it the rating it deserves, and guess what? I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. I'm sorry. What is wrong with this episode? If someone can tell me in the comments what they didn't like about the episode, I would love to hear, but for me personally, everything connected, everything wrapped up, great character development, great acting, great everything, great, great intro as well, too. That's another one this week. I love the intro with the blue, and, great storyline, great everything. The way they did this one, it's exactly what I wanted from it. It is exactly what I wanted, if not more. Because you can already tell this episode, it also pays respects to the John Dory character, while also setting up future storylines you can kind of tell at the same time. So, I love it, guys. I have no complaints this week. This was a great episode of Fear the Walking Dead. And honestly, yeah, there you go. That's my thoughts. I love this episode, guys. So, anyway, guys, I want to hear from you guys down in the comment section below. What do you guys think of JD? I want to hear that from you guys in the comment section below. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for another video for Fear the Walking Dead. Of course, guys, if you're new here, click the subscribe button to miss some of my videos for Fear the Walking Dead. Follow Dance Marketing Reviews on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for another video for Fear the Walking Dead. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.